What's going on, world? It's your boy. What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S, part of Den Media Group, presented by AlphaClinicOnline.com. AlphaClinicOnline.com is the go-to website for all things performance enhancement. Get your life right, get fit, get in shape, be able to be on the go, especially for those who are on the go. Make sure you know to go to AlphaClinicOnline.com, especially for days like this. This is VD. Big day. Matter of fact, I wanted to start off before we do the prayer. Can somebody, one of my favorite, I want to start off with one of my favorite love ballads for everybody out here. I think it's a good song, made by a terrible person, the king of dirty mackin'. I just pull it up on my phone. I know exactly what I want. Man, I think it's so good, so good of a love song that it should be a ballad. I mean, like a hymn almost. And it like it embodies everything about this day. But just sing along if you know the words. The best music was made when the hairlines was egregious. Have you seen, you know who Bobby Womack is? Have you ever seen his haircut? It's out of line. It's out of pocket for this. The way he was singing, way out of pocket, man. That man had a full, like this, like he had the drop top haircut. Like, barber, no, he was wrong. How you gonna edge up half of somebody's head and have the nerve to have an afro in the back? Anyways, man, I hope everybody's enjoying it. Ladies or gentlemen, one of the best Valentine's days you could have given them was the gift of All In. And we'll talk a little bit about what could have came with the All In package today, because I don't know shit about this sport, but it's exciting when there's free food, liquor, and you're like right up front, right close to it. Anything is enjoyable when you're right there. But before we get all this stuff started, let's go ahead and on this STD Friday, let's lead us all into a word of prayer. That's such a good man. I don't care what you believe in. That's a power. Whatever he praying to is getting it. They got that. They got all the passion in it. So, all in all, it's Daytona. The Valentine's Day weekend kicks off Daytona. Daytona 500. There was the Great American Race. Saw something ironic that was pointed out to me that I never really thought about. Did you know that there's a big ass Cracker Barrel right in front of Daytona Speedway? And I don't know if you guys realize NASCAR is not a black sport per se, but to see Cracker Barrel in front of a lot of YCs and OCs was very interesting. Lets me know, and it was full. It was packed. It was eating the fuck out of some crackers in that barrel. So, but I guess we'll get in. That might be in the what's in the show notes today, or do we need to talk about yesterday's experience, last night's experience first?
I sent it to you a little bit earlier, but yeah, we got some videos you posted on your story, and but first I would start out with FSU like we normally do. Got a few little things to talk about. Staying in the college world, Juju Watkins balled out last night, so we got her highlight tape. Then we got some NASCAR. Then we transition to the NFL. The combine list, the official combine list dropped, so we're going to be discussing some of the key players. Jameis Winston doing numbers at Fox. Aaron Rodgers in the Jets turmoil. Jaguars general manager tracker. And then we're going to talk about the Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. Got some video clips of the halftime rehearsal for the Super Bowl. That was pretty cool. And it was V-Day, and this is a pretty relatable, ironic topic. James Harrison and his body count with his son has been breaking the internet by storm. Then we have a potential NFL lineup. So then we're going to move into our Big Games B.S. segment. We're going to ask you, James, I know you just played a song, but some of your favorite Valentine's Day or just love songs. We got some key Valentine facts for you. Talk about the rapper, critically acclaimed rapper who was in a Lyft situation, Dank Demos, and she was on The Breakfast Club. Big Meech's concert getting canceled. KD celebrating 30,000 points, and his young protege Ant-Man catching a body, and Shaq is out here wilding. But first things first, just like the Bucks, Sam Cassell, man, Sam Cassell, he is doing great things. And if you know basketball, he's been in the basketball world for some long time, a legend in the game, and he might come back to Tally. So word on the street is that Celtics assistant Sam Cassell will be a leading candidate for head coach at Florida State, with Leonard Hamilton resigning, and with some speaking in even stronger terms. So, James, what would you think of this pickup by the school, since he did go here, he did play here? How important would that be for this program?
Well, one, I know he knows how to cheat. He was with that Pat Kennedy teams with the FSU back in the day when FSU was winning natties in football, but competing. I think they went to the Elite Eight maybe that year. They were strong, man. They had I want to say like 4 of those guys went to the NBA off that team, off that squad. But you know, Sam Cassell. What made me remember Sam Cassell was one of my my inspirations. A guy by the name of Tom Joyner Morning Show. I don't know if white people know who he is, but black kids growing up in the 90s, we were indoctrinated by listening to the hardest working man in radio. And he used to talk about how he hated Rick Fox. And they hated it was certain NBA players that Rick Fox in particular is who they hated. And they hated him because he had too many good things going for him. And they were like, he's light skinned, he's got good hair, he's pretty, he's rich, and he's married to the Black Miss America. He's like, everything is going well for him. Like they like their basketball players like Sam Cassell. And who's the other one? It was another ugly like it just called him ugly basketball. So that's how I used to always remember him. But he was really good. He could hoop. Like it was just funny because like they would say it. It was like an ongoing bit on their show. Like every time they got a chance to take a dig at Sam Cassell, they would take it. But bigger than that, you know, he's not only. I like coaches that do it. I hate to say it the right way because it doesn't mean you can't come in and coach with no coaching experience. But we already know what he's done. He's got he had a good career in the NBA. He's got championship pedigree. He's been really, really good as a coach. And now he comes back home to Florida State in a situation where his name will get him indoors that other people would normally be able to get into. And I think we don't know how old Coach Hamilton really is. Like he's a vampire. He's looked the same age since the 60s. Like he looks like he could be in a doo-wop band. Like, but like Sam coming in because you got to have a renewed vigor for recruiting if you're going to come into the college landscape. He's also made his money. He's also getting a little longer in the tooth. So he's a guy that's probably going to, and he's coming back home. So he's a guy that'll probably stay where he stay put and be okay with it. And I like that for Sam. I like that for Florida State. If Florida State can get the football team and the basketball team rocking, it really does change the college experience. And it gives you something. The one thing about college is it's very stressful. You're away from your parents. You're away from home for the first time. You're trying to learn how to be an adult. You're trying to figure it out. You need some distractions. And Sam can give Florida State students and fans some noted distractions. And what better way to tell somebody how to get to the NBA than to show them how to get to the NBA. I think, and again, he played for Pat Kennedy, and Pat Kennedy was a noted cheater. Like he was a GOAT. He was the OG cheater. Like paying players and doing all this other stuff. And in the NIL landscape, you got to know how to cheat. Like, all you people complaining about the shit that you can't change. Stop complaining about the shit. It's here. It's here to stay. You open up Pandora's box. Players going to keep getting paid. We need somebody who can manage personalities more than they can just do X's and O's. And I think Sam Cassell having that NBA pedigree will help. A lot of people talked about Charlie coming on board, and I love Charlie Ward to death. I think he's a great high school coach. I think he'll be fine, but you don't go from high school to college. And Charlie is like such a strong Christian man that I know this isn't popular. I don't need that coaching my basketball teams because we need recruiting. We need Rick Pitino's of the world. The Teflon Dons buying strippers and prostitutes for recruits on recruiting visits. Charlie's going to be having Bible study, and that might work sometimes, but it hasn't worked consistently. We need devilish players if we're trying to win. So that's my thoughts on that.
Staying in the FSU world, FSU men's basketball, they had a down to the wire game against Wake Forest, and they had resulted in a 3-point game winner. FSU was down 14 at halftime, and then this sequence happened to win the game. So share this with you all so you all can get a sneak peek of what happened.
Davis. Ball Bowen for the lead. It's there. Florida State's first lead since it was 13-10.
Why would he shoot from so far back with 10 seconds?
Rebound Seminoles. There's still 6 seconds to play. Wake has to foul. A dunk from Thomas.
I always want to dunk like that. Who did he say shot the three?
Taylor Bowen.
Oh, I'm about to say
not FSU. He
yeah, no, I'm saying I was about to say Bobo doesn't play for FSU. I thought he was in the pros.
Yeah, he's on the Phoenix Suns. Actually getting some more playing time now, so that's good.
Cool. Shout out to FSU doing what needed to be done on the road at Wake. Solid win. Stupidity under pressure by Wake Forest got even if you make that, you give the ball right back to Florida State with plenty of time left. Shouldn't you, the hoopers in here, shouldn't you take some time off the clock before you do that? Or is that just me, being irrational? And why would you shoot from that far back unless you like that? I mean, that guy, I don't know who that guy was. So unless you like that, or you know what, he might have been point shaving. So, all right, but I know this. I'm going to hit him with a like what Travis said my guy Chris did to him, where he threw a sweaty jock strap right in his face. I'm hitting him right in the back of the head. and just trying to start a brawl in the locker room, because that was dumb from the Wake Forest guy. But it worked out in our favor. Shout out.
Someone who wasn't point shaving, Juju Watkins, balled out last night.
Cuzzo.
So they had the battle of the California teams last night. USC faced number 1 ranked UCLA.
Hold on. Can we get one more FSU nugget in there before we go there? Nah, it's cool. Baseball starts today. Home opener for FSU baseball. Make sure y'all pack the dick. Hauser Stadium. Make sure we pack it. Get it in there good and tight. Wham it, like get jammed in there so that the baseball team feels the same pleasing pressure that everybody else feels as well. Girls softball has been doing pretty good. This is the time of year where us as FSU fans can poke out our chest because the other sports are doing pretty good, and we can pretend that we care about those. But shout out to Link Jarrett, Florida High Zone. But again, like I said, y'all go, if you're in Tallahassee, we might need to find a game that we could just bring. It's just a den game. We'll pack the dick presented by Alpha Click. You know what? I want to hit up the animals.
Hey yo,
I'm gonna hit up the animals, and we can get it. If we can, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna find a baseball game one of these weekends, and we're gonna pack the dick. You're gonna come in that. We're gonna come in full. We're gonna come in and fill the dick. Hauser Stadium.
Hey yo.
It's a great. The dick is a great venue. It is a great.
Hey
venue.
yo.
Oh man. We're gonna, yes, that would be it. That's gonna be one of my things. We're gonna figure that out. So maybe we'll do something where we'll make sure all members get tickets. I'll work on that. So you guys have a yeah, we're gonna do that. So all right. We just had to I couldn't let that moment slip. Because anytime you packing dick and it slips, it typically goes in the wrong place. Yo. It's not good.
Hey yo. Hey yo.
Anyways, going back to Cuzzo, Juju, she balled out against number 1 ranked UCLA. Obviously, UCLA has a great team. They had a 6'7" center doing her thing as well. Doing her thing this season. But Juju, man, she has been on a tear. So against the number 1 ranked UCLA, she had 38 points, 11 rebounds, 8 blocks, 5 assists, 6 for 9 from 3-point, and she was 12 of 26 from her total field goal percentage. So we're gonna look at her highlights right quick, go and see how she got her buckets. And man, y'all stay tuned. And like I previously mentioned, UCLA was the number 1 ranked, and they were 23-0. They were undefeated. USC recently lost to Caitlin Clark's former team, Iowa, and she had to get her revenge game.
I appreciate it, Kate.
Anytime they have the hair up in the pineapple, you know something crazy about to happen. Oh, Juju with the block? Damn. Has he? Oh man. Did she? Yo. What's crazy is she's doing all this looking like a woman. What? Come on, man. Her skill set. Come on, dog. Like the chick normally looks like Lil Wayne when they had that skill set. Like she still has all the, like, she's an elite athlete, but she's got all, like, it's not that you can't be feminine. Like there are women who are jacked who do look feminine, but like look at her. Like she's still very smooth. Like her muscles are still very smooth. Yeah. Wow. I just thought she was shorter. But like she looks big, but just like you don't think like, oh yeah, she's 6'2". Yeah. Because a lot of the times the taller females don't be explosive like that. Damn, she is buckets. I think that they're like she's too cute. I know she ain't got no real handles like that. She looks. Oh my goodness.
What's her NBA comparison?
Ooh. She's a 2-guard, right? She got great body control. She's pressing it. She's fast. Oh, she hit it with the Euro.
She's like a two-way player.
Yeah, I mean, to play good defense and be able to score. Dimes. That's so disappointing. That's the. Can we go back to that a little bit? This is where the female. I'm sorry, like guys, like right here, like not that one. This is exciting. She's attacking the paint. That's what makes the men's game great. But watch this great dime she's about to give. Boom, got a good rebound. I'm with you. She's coming down court. She sees. All right, pause. We can't be doing the fundamental layup on this one, dog. I know she can't, but I'm just saying, like, this is where, like, if they would just lower it down to 9, and imagine she's just able to come up and just boom. You don't think the crowd would go wild? I would go wild. I was hoping for a dunk, man. That girl went over there, did the most anticlimactic thing you could do. Yeah, nah, Juju is. You're right, Angelo. You remember? Have y'all seen the one? It's one. I'm tired of people acting like studs can't get it. I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying it's some good stuff up under there. And Angelo puts in there. She kind of looked like, reminds you of the cute stud that got the haircut, but the barber was messing with her. And she's like, "Come on!" But then she went and dressed like a girl, and then like you can see like it's some things up under there. But Juju clearly is feminine, and that's sex sells, man. Regardless of handsome dudes or, fine women sell, bro. Like, that's why we watch. But Juju's nice, though. And that's crazy. And I'm also disappointed in tall women who can't dunk. God made you 6'7", and you're not out here freaking it. Man, if I was 6'2", do you know the amount of, like, I would have hooped because I would have been springy. I would be dunking on people unmercifully just because I can. But cool now. That's the college. I can't wait to I don't want to watch the men's tournament. I'm clearly watching the women's tournament. They have done a much better job of building and developing the women players. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Juju Watkins at Florida State, but that's because I got told about him by my cousins. And he's from Trenton, and he's at FSU. If he didn't go to FSU, if he was from Trenton and went to FAMU, I wouldn't know who he is. Same city. Wouldn't know who he is. Oh, certain schools are going to get screwed. Juju going to get paid. I want to be with the Title IX. That was a good question, Miles. But with the Title IX stuff, yeah, they're going to be programmed. Like, JU women's basketball is going to stink. Florida State women's basketball, I think we care enough about the brand. The schools that care enough about their brand, their overall brands will win. They will invest what's necessary into making sure that they get the best players. But if it's got to be like a school that's got to make a choice of what to be good at, oh, please believe the women's sports are about to get gutted. No, it's not just women's sports. Like, nobody gives a fuck about rugby. Like, sorry, Aunt, I apologize. I'm not trying to be discriminatory, but if it's between getting new helmets for the football team and getting new tennis rackets for the baseball team, not baseball team, excuse me, new tennis rackets for the tennis team at the University of South Florida, the football team is going to win. That's all I'm saying. But like, Juju is, but again, Juju gonna get paid. USC is a big enough. They got that's leather helmet money. The schools with leather helmet money gonna be all right. Like Michigan don't give a fuck about this. They well, not really. It was the right teams got hot at the right time, and it created a natural rivalry. Angel Reese, we all got into this because of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. White people try to make us believe that Caitlin Clark is attractive, and she's not. It's okay. She's not attractive, though. Let's be honest with this. She looks like Mel Gibson, but she could hoop. Straight up hooper. Larry Bird, like it's just like if women tried to say Larry Bird was attractive during that time. Matter of fact, it is exactly Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Larry Bird was just a country ass white boy that could just hoop. Wasn't like wasn't your Brad Pitt white boy. He was just, or it would have been Ted Danson at that time or whatever. Like he wasn't that white boy, the handsome white guy the dude from what's the one from he wasn't the guy from Dynasty. He wasn't that guy. He was just a white dude, the ugly country white dude, but he was cute because he could ball and because they put him out there. Then you had Urban Magic Johnson. Black dude, can hoop, flashy, handsome smile. All the ladies loved him. That's part of the reason why he got the HIV. He didn't know how to say no out there, but they said the HIV was only. But that's what the ladies are trying to say, like, because he was, and I don't know. That was what they sold. So I'm saying that to say Angel Reese was the more attractive to black men and some white men. Like we know what white man would love him some Angel Reese. What do we call him? Schmeagle at the white dude that was giving all the black A-miles. There's a clear predator on the prowl in media, in the NABJ spaces, and he gives all the black women press credentials. But what you got to do to get those, what you have to, hey, you miss 1,000% of the shots that you don't take is what he says. So he's a shooter. I'll get you that. You want to get into the Super Bowl? All right, baby. Let me how bad you want to be in the Super Bowl, cutie? But nah, the Angel's cute. And she scored a lot of points. She got a lot of rebounds, and she won a national championship. She was on one of the better teams, coached by a coach who we know that white woman was bad in her day. Like she was fine. So like they used that rivalry and they created a rivalry, and that's what made us start watching it. Now, once we started watching it, we saw a freshman Juju that was up and coming, that was hooping. We like, damn, this girl is nice. And we see all them ugly. There's no other way to say this. I mean, I'm a Dawn Staley fan, right? I'm a big Dawn Staley fan. I love Dawn Staley. I would let my son go to a Dawn Staley basketball camp. I don't know if there's an attractive girl on that South Carolina roster, though. And they're really, really good. I'd be honest with you. And that's what makes Juju so inspiring to women. Because it proves that you don't have to be ugly to be able to hoop. You can keep your femininity and still hoop. And there's nothing wrong with them women doing love who you love. Yeah, it's a lot of mid in there, man. That second line is diabolical. Who is? She's African, right? With the red hair, gotta be something. Yeah, maybe she's. The white girl's kind of all right. Is that No, that's not that white girl. Yeah, South not helping with South Carolina. She's all right. They all got hair though. No, except for they got weave. It almost like if the guy, who was the dude that picked on the Rutgers women's basketball team that's dead now? Oh, he's looking up. Don Hymas is looking up at us right now and saying, "I told you them nappy-headed hoes could hoop," but he was wrong for that. Yeah, like they sweating. It's like if you're a black girl, you sweat. Like it's why they don't get in pools and shit. Like ain't nothing wrong with nappy hair. But that being said, we want them to hoop. But we got pretty girls, we got ugly girls. It's a good variety of women. You got fine ass coaches like Notre Dame's coach. Like she bad. But you know, but yeah, man. So like, I like women's basketball though, way more than I like men's basketball. You know, some men's basketball is reverting back to the '60s fundamental shit. Like, if you look, did you see the national championship last year? I was in DR when I was watching it. It was a bunch of tall white guys doing bounce passes and like they didn't just try to use their athleticism to dunk on people. They dribbled, bounced, like double head fakes and shit like that. Like, it's just not a good product. But the women's game is they have 4 years to develop characters, develop stuff, and to be able to get you to watch it, man. Yeah. Oh, do we have the thing where we're talking about? Did you see the stuff about spring football? Did I send that to you? All right, if we have time, we'll get into it. We can go. But yeah, that's how I feel about women's basketball, though. So,
all right. So yesterday we had the opportunity. If you were an all-in member, could have been all in, but you're all out. Got a chance to go to the Daytona International Speedway to watch the NASCAR duels race. These are qualifying races for the Daytona 500, and there was 2 races last night we attended and watched. First one, the winner was Bubba Wallace. How ironic, we was there, Bubba won. No, I think there's nothing surprising about that, but we got a video of Bubba crossing the finish line right here, and then James is gonna give some feedback on this.
shout out to Bubba. Everybody was coming to I'll be honest with you. There's only one reason I was rooting for. He's black. He's in space. Like, we were that close. Like, I could act like I'd probably get arrested, but you could like throw something at the track if you had a really good arm. Yes. Look, Bubba is one of those guys that's easy to dislike, and not because of who he is. He's in a sport where he's not dominating, but he's considered one of the best in the sport. And how? So like nobody, it's I didn't put it on that one, but on my Facebook and on my Instagram, I put Texas Hold'em from Cowboy Carter's album on there. That's Beyonce. Yeah. Beyonce won a Grammy in country. Yeah. Country is a very white dominated genre that was started by black people. People don't hate the song. They hate that it's Beyonce that made a country song, even though it's a very good country song. And for whatever reason, this is our month, so we can talk about things like this. And this is a safe space for a culture of people, like as a whole, that made it their purpose to leave the land that they were in to go experiment with other cultures and learn from other cultures, appropriate other cultures, and then tell other cultures how great their culture is, and you should want to be a part of our culture. I have no idea how they get mad when other people come in to not appropriate, but to partake in their culture. First and foremost, if we look at racing in the beginning stages, you'll probably find a lot of black people. If you look at country was started by black people. Country music was started by black people. But like, it's crazy because you could think if you could either enjoy it or not enjoy it. Because Bubba Wallace is basically Russell Wilson of NASCAR. He's corny. He doesn't say anything that's like, the worst thing that Bubba did was be offended that it looked like a noose was in his hanger during a NASCAR event. And he took a picture of it and put it on his social media and said that there's no place for this. That is the most controversial thing that has happened with Bubba Wallace during his time in NASCAR. Now, we're going to get to that. One of the things that, whether people want to admit it or not, one of the things, and it's about to get worse. It's about to get worse, and nobody's going to get more racism filled than the mixed breeds.
Oh my God.
Because you're going to get Dr. Umar coming after you. Dr. Umar is disappointed. But you're in the... So there was this de facto rule, right? And it will get broken eventually. There was a bunch of good Charlie Strong, right? Why Charlie Strong couldn't get a job as a head coach in the SEC? He went to Louisville, shined at Louisville, went to Texas. Was a little more progressive in Texas. But he couldn't get a job, much like other people. People would say in the coaching circles, just look at his wife. What does his wife have to do with him? Look at it. They say they can't just have it in their face. They don't mind you being the coach, but you can't just bring your new prosperity into America and just have it in our face. Meaning he has a white wife. But then just think about it. As progressive as we've gone, think about the Alabamas of the world. Think about the Mississippis of the world. That's where most of these jobs are at. Arkansas. Like a lot of these places is wild. And it may be true for you in this chat, or you listen to this if it's a real or anything. You might not think like that. But trust and believe, man, there are people who still think like that. And if you don't believe it, go look at your comments. So Bubba has a white wife. And he has a baby that's clear. That baby, that's baby. One, if that baby was too young, that baby wouldn't have been out there. That black grandma, because Bubba's people are still black. They'd be like, "Don't you have my baby out there in front of people before they're X amount of months old?" But one of the things that, old black women told me this, because when my babies came out, they were a little pale. I was a little nervous. Look at the baby's ears. So if you look at the baby's ears, if the ears are brown, that's going to more than likely be the complexion that they eventually get to. So I looked at my baby's ears and I'm like, okay, cool. All right, cool. They're going to have a little tan, little melanin in them. I looked at my nephew, right? That dad's a white baby. My nephew that baby is clear. It's going to be high. Look, I want to call him Heavy D because that's what he reminds me of right now. How light skinned he's going to be with the good hair. But Bubba's gonna get it from the black women saying, why do they always do this? Why do all the good athletes, all the rich men go and get them a good old Caucasian woman? And then the Caucasian men are gonna be like, why did Becky Sue have to go over? Because it's rednecks. Because some of it they don't mean. It's just what they know. They don't believe in love just being love, man. And because again, at the end of the day, let's be for real. There are getting to become more black people in NASCAR. There's actually a black woman who has a racing team. I met her at the Super Bowl. I was trying to get up with them on Thursday. It would have been great to get some content from them. But I don't really think sister's going to be sitting around fucking NASCAR like that. It's not. It's like, unless you, even in the seats that we were at, it wasn't very many black people there. It was me. Jaden brought another black person to it. It would have been me and another guy. Well, and the driver. Shout out to my driver for buses. It's me and him. We're used to being the only black people on trips because he's our bus driver for every lacrosse trip, and we're just used to it. But people hate. It's scary because hold on. But yeah, so it's it is what it is. I mean, ignorance is gonna be there, but that's why I liked it in the face of all ignorance. But my guy Bubba is dope. From what I know, and I don't know much about him, so I just know it was fun. It was fun to watch him, and then when he got it, I was like, cool. The second race was the one that was more electric, though. We got that one up there for all the reasons why you want all the reasons why we really watch NASCAR, because I can't tell you the fundamentals. Like, what I did learn that they all basically kind of drive the same speed, and it's really just slight maneuvers, and it's really about how good your team is and how well built the car is. For some of it, but like, you're literally, like, let's be honest, you're driving in a circle over and over and over again. And I thought it was like Daytona 500, like you're going 500 laps, but it's miles. So with the duels that we went to, these are 125 miles. Like, and this is basically to see who's going to be in pole position. So whoever runs the fastest time, both of them, they split the group up. Not the group, excuse me. They split the field up and have half and half drive. But everybody watches NASCAR for one reason, and you'll see this, and you'll love it. That nice little wreck at the end. And these people just hop out like it ain't like they didn't just hit each other. I guess because this was the end and they were trying to all get into the position. Hey, this man's on fire. He just does something to get his car on fire. Ambulance comes up and they just kill him. People get fender benders and going 30 miles per hour and they act like they just got killed. There was a wreck, I believe, in the first 12. All in all, not a bad way to spend your Thursday. If you were an all-in member, basically Jaden gets to live the all-in experience. If you're an all-in member, you could have came, and again, there's something damn near every month for all of this stuff. So, pretty drunk. Yeah, like when you're just watching people run around a circle, the only thing you're doing is eating and drinking. It's loud as hell. It's not like you can have a really good conversation when they're like driving by you. Like I said, it's not like other sports, but like it's just, I think it's like, again, I liken it to a tailgate. It's a family. It's like going to a family reunion where people drive really, really fast around you in a circle. And you get to do stuff like walking on the track, signing on things. It's like I saw some Florida State fans. Like, it was really cool to, like, you get a chance to meet people and you go in the infield. It's very fan engaging in the beginning. It's just a long walk. Now, I will say some of the people are rude. Like I think that one white man was going to try to make me and Jaden walk all the way outside the stadium and then walk to where we're at. And I might bump it. They're going to have to, we have a band. You're going to have to kick. We didn't have the fancy pendant or whatever, but we had a band. This band right here. I was like, this is going to get us where we need to get to. So, but cool.
All right, so we're going to transition into the NFL world. Like we previously mentioned, the NFL 2025 Combine Draft Prospect List has been released. So we're going to share this tab with you all, discuss some of the notable names that are on this list, some notable names that aren't on this list. So let's get into it right here. First things first, got to start out with FSU. We got 3 guys who are going to be attendant who got the invite for the combine, and we got Mr. Farmer himself.
Nice.
AZ, we got AZ, and last but not least, we got the one, the only Tits for Fits, man.
Mm-hmm. Tits for Fits. Shout out to him. 3 guys, three draftable guys. And I think it's gonna be good. I mean, I think they'll do well. I don't really know what kickers do at the combine besides kick. Farmer, in order to get into that second day, high second day, he's got to have a Braden Fisk type performance. And I'm not sure. I know he's going to Exos, one of the best training combine training companies you can go to. He's looking good. His biggest thing that they're going to question is his consistency. Like when we looked at him at the Senior Bowl, at times he was unblockable. There are some times when the double team came on him, like when they were in actual game situations and scrimmaging, he isn't the best against the double team. But when he fires off, man, he is a lot. And AZ clearly, hands down, is probably one of the best cover corners in the draft. Great feet, does a good job with his hands. We'll get some updates on him. And then I'm probably going to talk with, I think Crow will be up there in Indy. I'm going to try to get him on the side and like get a quick interview about the best DBs and get his opinions on the DBs and wide receivers in the draft. Or at the combine, excuse me, because that would make us be able to condense it.
So we're going to highlight the Colorado Buffs. So Shedeur obviously got the invite, and there was, I believe, three or... We see 1, 2, 3. There's 3 other Colorado players who got the invite to go to the combine. But one of the more noticeable facts about this is that Travis Hunter is listed as a DB, not a wide receiver. You can see right here, defensive backs, Travis Hunter. He's listed as a DB and not a wide receiver for the combine. So many will speculate that this will be his ultimate, position, his main position. But even though he expressed sentiments of wanting to keep up his both sides of the ball, his sufficiency with that. So James, do you think he will have a majority of snaps at defensive back, or do you think he will try and split it like he did in college?
I think he'll do both. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody that's worked out in multiple positions. I believe, do we have a combine schedule that we could pull up? Because I don't think they do it on the same day. I think if he's doing DBs, that might be the DBs and quarterbacks. I mean, wide receivers and quarterbacks obviously work out on the same day. So if DBs go before them, that means that's when he'll do all of his interviews, and his medical will be all done before that. And then he will go and perform his DB duties, and then he will go and maybe do wide receiver stuff. But he also has the opportunity to be able to do all of this stuff at Colorado's Pro Day, which would be a few weeks later. So, like, it's not like this is all the end all be all. Which day does I think most of the drills start on. The interview should be on Wednesday, right? All right, so which group does it says DB? Yeah, DB's tight ends. Yeah, so all it is him staying over an extra day. It's not the end of the world. So I think when it's all said, I think he's gonna kill it in the drills. I think if he believe it or not, if he goes to a situation where he has to play man press, he is not gonna survive at DB. Not as petite as he is right now. He has got but if he goes to a situation where he can play zone or like cover 2, where they even have some hybrids and some different things where he can kind of mix and match, I think he'll be fine, unless they put him in a situation where he covers the slots. But if he has to be the number 1 corner going up against Marvin Harrison Jr. consistently, I don't see that ending well for him. Just as Marvin progresses, I'm just thinking of a big wide receiver that's fast and physical.
A notable name from the Colorado Buffs roster that was not on this list is Deion's least favorite son, Shiloh Sanders. He did not get an invite to the combine. A lot of people were speculating this, but he did play at the East-West Shrine Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. So any words of encouragement for Shiloh? Do you think it's going to get better? Do you think he'll get a shot in the league, or how do you think it'll pan out?
99% of all student athletes go pro in something other than their sport. I mean, we already got one son that's a cameraman. But Shedeur is going to need a camera guy. Or, he's familiar with the Colorado Buffs program now. So they could take Deion Jr. and let him follow Shedeur because he's got more experience and reps, and let Shedeur take over the social media management for the Colorado Buffs. My My bad, Shiloh. Yeah, the one that nobody talks about, that we don't like. We know that Dion doesn't like. With Dion now, chasing young girls, well, relatively young girls. Those girls were 40, right? So they're not like young, but like relatively young, younger than him. I don't know, man. Like, it's sad, but there's a name on this list that's not on it, and I still don't understand why he didn't come back. Like, he wasn't going to start, people, before y'all get on me about this, but like having him as a backup, maybe getting another 150,000, a quarter mil, just to hang around the program. But ukulele, man, if you're not, this is telling you all the stuff, brother. Like, unless you're gonna get, what was it? It's not 7-Eleven. What was the place that he had the NIL deal with to get the slushies? Circle K. Like, unless you're gonna go work at a Circle K, like, brother, you should have come back. But I'll say this: as bad as he was, why the fuck does Graham Mertz have an invite? Unless he's just throwing the ball to wide receivers because everybody else's arms are sore. This makes absolutely no sense. But looking at this, I'm still trying to figure out why Carson didn't leave. If this is the best quarterbacks in this draft, this is not the year to suck. Last year was not the year to suck. You got Quinn Ewers, not feeling him. Cam Ward, okay, but has his flaws. Louisville's quarterback stinks. Shadur might be the best of the bunch outside of Jackson Dart, who I think will be rated higher than him. And Kyle McCord is pretty good. Jalen Milroe can't hit the broadside of a barn, but like, if this is what we got, damn. It's going to be a lot of the quarterback position is about to be the next one to be devalued, because this is what they're putting into something that has to change. Either the NFL has to come in and truly adapt the farm system where they can oversee the development, especially in key critical positions that will win football games, or you're going to have a bunch of QBs that you have to pray get ready. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If I am on a team that's in the top 5 and I need a quarterback, not now one of these motherfuckers make me excited I'm not excited about any of those guys. Like, damn. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who, like, I just gotta have. And none of them.
Good luck to all the players who got an invite to the combine. And for the players that didn't, man, keep grinding, keep doing your thing. But we got to give flowers where flowers is due. Got to give credit to where credit is due. We got to stay in the FSU realm, because Jameis was putting in that work during Super Bowl week. I know y'all see the number right here, 128 million total views from Jameis Winston through his socials. And man, they said, quote, Jabbo Wins is the undisputed king of the internet. From eating beignets, from throwing W-shaped cookies, from asking to get on Shad Khan's yacht. He was doing everything. And just to be in the same city as him, he definitely brought the energy, brought the vibrancy. Everybody was talking about him on Media Row. He was the face of one of the faces of the Super Bowl week. So, James, what you think about this 128 million total views he brought to Fox?
I mean, my man literally was grinding. Like, from the minute we saw him in the first, he walked into Media Day, and I saw him, got a chance to do a 5-minute convo with him. I don't even know if we uploaded that shit. That's crazy. I gotta ask Steve if he put that in there. Like, but it was I know we got the pictures of it, but like he was nonstop grind the entire time. And I applaud him. Like I think they were almost using him too much. But I do believe like I think it was I could see him being more successful with this than he was as a player in the NFL. He's almost RG3-ish, but more genuine. But like better, yeah. Like RG3, I think RG3 tries to be the corny a little bit too much. Jameis, the corny just oozes out of him, if that makes sense. Like, and it's funny transitions. It's like Jameis asked, like he was like, I want to just tell you this, and you've been doing very good, and the way you throw the football and do these different things and your transitions, and like he was using all this football terminologies. I say all of that to say, what is your favorite color? And it was just like it was hilarious. But like, I do want him to be fun, and I think there are some moments for it, but I think they might have did too much of the him doing the pedal bike. I think that was cool, but I think him doing the I Believe I Can Fly, singing I Believe I Can Fly. I'm like, all right, man, let's just chill out real quick on that. Like we ain't gotta do that. I don't want to sully the seriousness in which he can actually do this. He knows ball, but he's also fun loving. But he's also, undiagnosed autistic. So I feel like they were picking on a retarded kid for a little bit, man. And he doesn't know how to say no. But what's funny in all of it is, and I know this is how I know it's genuine. If I did this, it would be deliberate, right? But he is unintentionally throwing up a big ass middle finger to every hater, every critic, every bot, every person that wants to troll because their life fucking sucks about things that he did not do or things that everybody fucking did. The only thing he could do to sprinkle some more, but again, this would let me know it's intentional, is to like just have somebody chasing him in cleats as a cleat chaser. But like him eating them crab legs, him eating a W, him doing all of these different things that everybody picked on him, and him figuring out how to get a bag out of it.
He's magnanimous. He doesn't come at his haters. He's very, forgiving.
Again, that's how I know. The elevator goes all the way to the top, but it ain't a penthouse. Like he's got all this. He's smart as shit. It's a little crazy up there, man. Like if to be inside of Jameis's head is probably will probably either intrigue you or terrify you. There is no in between. Like this man dressed like a pirate. And I'm like, come on, dog. But at the same time, it was cool. Him dressing like a pirate. I don't know how to explain it. Definitely.
No, you sure. Speaking of quarterback situation in the New York Jets has created a lot of turmoil, a lot of speculation. Many are wondering, what's up with Aaron Rodgers? Is the Pat McAfee request really true? So we're going to dive into some official statements from new head coach Aaron Glenn and GM Darren Mogi, and a statement from the chairman Woody Johnson. So let's get into this, y'all, and we're going to dive into the facts of these statements, and let's get into it. So, quote, last week, we met with Aaron and shared that our intention was to move in a different direction at quarterback. It was important to have this discussion now to provide clarity and enable each of us the proper time to plan for our respective futures. We want to thank him for the leadership, passion, and dedication he brought to the organization and wish him success moving forward. So this was a joint statement from head coach Aaron Glenn and GM Darren Mogi. So Next statement we got is from Chairman Woody Johnson. I want to personally thank Aaron for his time at the New York Jets. His arrival in 2023 was met with unbridled excitement, and I will forever be grateful that he chose to join us to continue his Hall of Fame career. From day one, he embodied all that it meant to be a New York Jet, embraced our fans, and immersed himself in our city. That is what I will remember the most when I look back at his time here. He will always be welcome, and I wish him only the best in whatever he chooses to do next. So, James, two things. One, what do you think will be the next plan of action for Aaron Rodgers? And two, do you think his a lot of people say quote unquote diva status, Ryan Clark expresses those sentiments, really dismayed his career with the Jets?
I mean, the next step has got to be going to the Vikings. The Brett Favre trajectory. I mean, he's doing everything else that, I mean, well, he's got to send a dick pic to some up-and-coming female reporter. He's got to go to the Vikings. And then after that, he's got to steal welfare from kids in California, because that's where he's from. Brett did it in Mississippi, but, you know, he's got to do it in Cali. Clearly, he's been influenced by Brett. That being said, I think he's just not any. I think his time has passed him. And I think he was good, but just I think he's doing everything that people get on black athletes for doing. Too much. You're a podcaster. You're doing this. Like you're like nobody just. It just baffles me. Like he's never been told to shut up and ball. Shut up and dribble. And if he was just shutting up and dribbling, he probably would still be there. But I think he's becoming a distraction. And when he's a distraction, but his presence and his ability make him a voice that you have to listen to. And as a new head coach, that is the last fucking thing that you want. Diddy used to call it the turd to talent ratio. If he was talented, you keep him. But he's not at this juncture. He has not done anything for you in the 2 years that he was there. Now, the first time he was with the Jets no longer than the national anthem was played. He tore his Achilles. And then last year he just wasn't good. And the headlines he was making weren't from his plays, it was from his stances and things that he said. And it's just like, all right, man, go on about your business, especially if you're not going to develop those behind you, knowing that you're in the twilight years of your career. You had a solid defense. You've got young wide receivers that are talented. If I want to take my lumps and lose, I'd rather lose with Jay Trav. Now, the problem with this is some people ask me on the internet, and that's a question that I want to ask on when I go up to the combine, because the first day, if you saw that, I need you to send me that schedule too, so I can tell you how we need to plan everything. The combine schedule, like that Monday is when all the teams come in, and they give you a list of when like the coaches and which teams talk. Obviously, you want to, as a Jaguar guy, want to hear what the new coach has to say and see if he's worked on his Duval. But I also want to hear Aaron Glenn, because there are questions about Jay Trav. Jay Trav was not drafted by Coach Glenn. And I don't know what kind of quarterback he wants. So that does put a question mark on him, because clearly when you get rid of him, what does he go and get? Does he draft a guy? Or does he try to go find a veteran? And who are the veterans in free agency right now? The world doesn't know. But like, Aaron Rodgers doesn't get the vitriol in which he should get for only having one Super Bowl. And it just shows you that people do understand how hard it is to get a Super Bowl. But to win a championship in general. But people only use that standard for people that they like. But the funny thing about the statement is that was a very long-winded way of saying what a lot of people say in breakups. It's not you, it's me. And no, it is. And 90% of the time when you say that, it is them. It's them. They're not fitting what you need them to fit for you to be successful, and that's okay. But you can't just say, Aaron, you're not giving me what I need to get because people's egos will be bruised and shattered. And then you look bad for getting rid of a Hall of Famer. When the reality is this is the second person. My statement that I made the other day about for every fine bitch, there's a person that's tired of their shit. Aaron Rodgers. I present to you male version of this statement. Packers, tired of his shit. Found a new young bitch. Jets, tired of his shit. About to go find a new bitch. Maybe it's a cougar that understands their worth and knows that they're trying to win. It can enhance them. That brings something to the table. Or they're going to go to Build a Bitch workshop and build up a J Trav or somebody of that nature, or a rookie or somebody of that nature. Either way, they're tired of Aaron Rodgers' shit. And what's cool is there'll be a simp waiting to pick him up because he's still Aaron fucking Rodgers. Sports is a microcosm of life and society. See how I just made those parallels right there? And just because somebody picks Aaron Rodgers up doesn't mean Aaron Rodgers is still a bad bitch. Aaron Rodgers is depreciated. It happens with men and women. A lot of times we just make the most of it because it's more women, but like it happens, man. It definitely happens.
We're going to stay in 904, transitioning. I know Aaron Glenn was a candidate for the head coaching position and in Jacksonville. So we are trying to find a new GM, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all didn't know. And luckily, the Jaguars have the same style of website they did for the head coaching tracker. They have a website general manager tracker. So if you just look up Jaguars 2025 general manager tracker, it should have the same layout as it did with the head coaching tracker. So we're going to get into some of the interviews they have completed so far. So first things first, the latest on the news is that the Jacksonville Jaguars interviewed Los Angeles Chargers assistant GM Chad Alexander on Thursday, and they have previously completed interviews with the following. John Robinson, who is the most recent position, was a Tennessee Titans GM. Brandon Brown.
Go back up. Oh, yeah. That was wait a minute. The black guy. Who's the black guy?
Chad Alexander.
Okay. My bad. All right. No, it was another. Go scroll down. Who's the guy after there with the fro?
Brandon Brown.
And now Brandon Brown was from where?
New York Giants assistant GM.
All right, cool.
Then you got Terrence Gray, who was a Buffalo Bills director of player personnel. James Gladstone, who is the Los Angeles Rams director of scouting strategy. Trey Brown, Cincinnati Bengals senior personnel executive. Josh Williams, San Francisco 49ers director, scouting and football operations. So those are the individuals we have completed interviews with. And if you guys did not know, the Jaguars and Trent Baalke decided to go separate ways on Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. And we have now hired the Tampa Bay Bucks OC as our head coach, Liam Cohen. Doing this pretty backwards, but we're trying to get the job done. And James, what do you think, just based off face value, of these interviews we have previously?
Play games, and it's not. We're hoping it'll work. I'm sure some of these guys are qualified. I'm gonna be honest with you. While I want my brothers to get opportunities, I don't want. I could already hear now when they fail that these are DEI hires. I mean, it's like you call 7 names or 6 names? I think it was 7 names and 4 were black. I just feel like they're setting us up. But if they come from the 49ers have done a really good job of of scouting talent. Rams done a good job in the draft. But you should get it. You're supposed. This is why. And the reason why I say they're setting them up for failure is because we did it backwards. You're supposed to hire your GM, and your GM is supposed to go and work in conjunction with the owner to be able to go get the head coach. The head coach and the GM should not be on the same playing field, regardless of who's getting paid more or less. The GM is supposed to be the boss. The owner is not supposed to be. The owner is supposed to be the overall boss, but there should be a chain of command, and there is no chain of command, which gets things fucking confusing. It's setting up for more stress and more hires that are going to be needed to be made. And this is supposed to be done before you get into the situation. The combine is literally, what is it? 10 days from now. A lot of those guys will be in Indianapolis on Thursday. I don't understand what's going on. But nonetheless, I will be here and ready for guys to I'll be hoping for the best. I'll say that much.
Yeah, good luck to all of these potential GMs and whatever future endeavors y'all have. Good luck to y'all boys right here. So, got a little quick video about Cam Newton has a take on Jalen Hurts. But before we get into that, we got a fact about Jalen Hurts that needs to have light shed upon it. Crazy fact right here. Getting it pulled up for you guys right now, but just shows you how hard it is to achieve certain levels in the NFL. Jalen Hurts did one of the impossibles. So Jalen Hurts is the first college football playoff national champion to go on and earn MVP at the Super Bowl. Man, what just a impossible feat. Like you said, he is the first player to ever do so. Huge accomplishment for him, just to add to his resume. You know, Super Bowl winner, MVP, Super Bowl MVP winner, Super Bowl winner, college national champion. Man, his resume just keeps getting more and more impressive. So keep this in mind. We're going to get into a Cam Newton video. He decided to give a take on Jalen Hurts, and he was wrong in the past. So he just wanted to give a new snippet in his mind on his opinion of Jalen Hurts. So we're going to share this with you all, and then please tell us what y'all think in the chat below.
Does this season or Super Bowl put Jalen Hurts in the elite QB group?
I think so. You know, as the discussions happen prior to the Super Bowl, you start to say like, yo, I don't know if this will or not. But when you see the times that he's played Patrick Mahomes, he's outplayed him every single time. Man, listen, I'm a real motherfucking nigga, bro. And I'm not too good to say that I fucked up and I made a mistake. I said something that say like, yo, how would the Philadelphia Eagles or Jalen Hurts fare if he was in the AFC? And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Because every time he plays an AFC opponent, I think their record is like 14-1. Like they strong.
He touching them up.
You feel me? And I think Jalen is a person, bro, that we living in the world of showmen. We live in a world where people and they listen more to the squeaky wheel rather than the smooth wheel. If that makes sense. Like Jalen is like the smooth person. Like he ain't gonna, create controversy. And when he really makes his case of like, yo, who's been through more than me? I don't think nobody wants to see a Jalen Hurts or play against him. Yeah, and I've been extremely, analytical about who Jalen Hurts is. Calling him a game manager, calling him, a person is he top 10? He's a guy who plays within himself, and the way he plays is not what we're used to seeing. And I can relate to that. For so many times in my career, having 200 yards, 215 yards, to some, you're not going to lead the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
But I pick it up too by having 65 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Those things don't show up in the stat line. Jalen Hurts he had a play when they was obviously up big, and he rushed for 17 yards. On paper, it was like, yo, that's a 17 yard scramble. But the timing of it was just like, that's a backbreaker. Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
And there's so many times that it's like, yo, man, we gotta stop this nigga, man.
Yeah.
But with Jalen Hurts, he presents a whole different element that you have to start really judging and saying, like, yo, it doesn't matter how he's doing it, he's getting it done.
Fair enough. And again, I think what people got to realize is Cam's going to say stuff that's going to be able to. Like, did you see his response to Steve Smith? Like, he had a response like that's how I was like, oh yeah, he wearing the. Because it was right before this clip, right where this clip started is when his stance on he said before that about Steve Smith, and Cam was good enough and iconic enough to where if he puts himself in this as personal, like it's going to be relatable because regardless of what anybody wants to say, Cam Newton was that guy. Which is ironic because he says that calling Jalen Hurts a game manager when he literally, I could see his game resembles Cam Newton's. Being able to run the ball, big physical quarterback with a good arm, but except for he's a better thrower of the football than Cam. He's also on a better overall team than Cam had in Carolina. But I like when guys go back and say, yo, I was wrong. Not enough people go back and say, I was wrong. Did you see he came on Cam's 4th and 1 show, though, I believe. And they were talking about losing. He was like, man, I can relate to losing that Super Bowl. I wanted to cry. He was like, yeah, I can relate to it too, except for I ain't cry. I didn't cry. But man, shoot, it's interesting to hear him say that.
Yeah, I thought it was dope that he retracted his statement and admitted when he was wrong. I thought that was cool. A lot of people, will not and cannot do that. So huge shout out to Cam. Staying with the Super Bowl topic, we got a video of a halftime performance rehearsal with Sam Jack and Kendrick Lamar. I thought it was cool. We got a chance to get a behind the scenes look at what it takes to perform the Super Bowl. It's only a minute long, so hope you guys enjoy if you haven't seen this already. And yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. Whatever.
He's so little. Did you know that those were women's bell bottoms he was wearing apparently?
So Dave, we're saying this facing this way now, right?
Yeah.
Salutations! It's your Uncle Sam, and this is the Great American Game. No! Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto.
It's always weird when you see people practicing moves and dances and stuff, and there's no sound. It cracks me up, but it also throws me off. I saw something that was too hilarious yesterday. I think it was it the Ace Vino or something like that? Like one of those people who do the cartoons and they like speak over stuff. It might not have been Ace, it was somebody, but they did it was Drake ran up on Samuel L. Jackson. It was like, why did you have to go and be Uncle Sam? Or he called him and he was just like, he's like, why do you have, I thought we were cool. You got a problem with me. He's like, I ain't got no issues with you, motherfucker. He's like, you know how some people have a bucket list? I have a motherfucking list. Places that I would like to say motherfucker. That I have to say before I die. And then he just goes on and on. And he's just like, and saying motherfucker at the Super Bowl was on my motherfucking list. I wanted to say motherfucker to a shark. I wanted to say motherfucker at the Grammys. I wanted to say motherfucker at the Oscars. I wanted to say, he's like, just last year I got to say motherfucker to the president. It's just all kinds of different things. And I thought it was funny, man. But yeah, dude. But it is interesting. It's to see all of the moving parts and to see how people continue to move and do those different things and have to move in unison. Like, I would hate to be the person to fuck up the dance or the choreography on that stage. Like, even if you're the only one to know, you still know. But it's still funny.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool behind the scenes. Little behind the scenes footage from the halftime performance, but Valentine's Day, February 14th. So this next video is very fitting. Mentioned it earlier, but James Harrison got asked by his son, former Steelers legend, I might add, James Harrison got asked by his son to explain what his body count was. And James Harrison had to think long and hard about this one, but you're in for a treat, man. This is gonna give you a good laugh. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna share this with you all right now, and let us know what you think in the comments, man. Was James out of pocket, or would have done the same exact thing?
The boys have had about girls, like what?
Hold up, listen. Dad, what's your body count?
The boys asked you what your body count was. Did you answer him? You told the truth? And they thought you was a little whore, didn't they?
Why would you call that man a whore?
What they say? Debo, when you gave him the number, Debo, what'd they say?
It was James. So we're going through it's a whole, he done went through a little heartbreak, whatever, I ain't gonna talk about. Anyway, he said, Dad, how long this feeling lasts, all that, da-da-da-da. I'm like, man, it's gonna last a minute. It's the first time, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. And I'm telling him, so-and-so, I don't want to speak a name, but I got a name. So-and-so, she broke my heart at this point, and da-da-da-da. I said, from that point forward, everybody else had to deal with the destruction. You know what I'm saying? So, he was asking, other questions, all that. And at that point in time, my son was on he wanted to do everything, the correct way. He wanted to wait till marriage and all that other stuff. And da-da-da. And I'm applauding that, that's great. And then after that happened, he went off the rails like I did with the thought process, just got lost. And then he started, he was asking me stuff. And then he was like, Dad, what's your body count? I'm like, do I tell him the truth? Do I lie to him? And I'm like, I'm afraid he might ask his mama. And I know she know the truth. So I can't lie to him.
Right.
I tell him. So he like, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, I was hurt in a bad way. Like, for a long time. I was raised a different way. Like, I wasn't raised, I was raised like you were raised, son. You got your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I didn't have that then. We didn't go to church like that. I didn't understand the representation of all, I'm living by a whole different set of rules at that time, I didn't know. I gotta tell his mom, I'm like, hey, he asked me the question. And you tell him the truth. Yeah, why'd you do that? I said, I didn't know if he was gonna ask you before I got to you. What you want me to do? So he say, he tell Beth, he say, yeah, I think I'm gonna be like Dad. just not that bad. So I was like, she's like, he said he's gonna be like you, just not that bad. What you want me to do? Hold up.
I mean, it was funny though, because like I think you should. One, I love James Harrison, and it's also really dope to see a guy who's very tough. Like I think that's masculinity. Like James Harrison, for those who don't know, is probably the reason why we have a lot of the rules. The rule, like he definitely, a lot of people will have CTE because of James Harrison, but a lot of the safety rules in the NFL are based upon him. I got a chance to meet him. They call him Debo for a reason. He's a very, very intimidating, very tough linebacker. Came up hard. Just great guy. And it's funny to see the tough guys be fathers, because we all have something that, makes us a little softer. And you kind of like, regardless of how it goes, like you don't want your sons to kind of go through the same hurts or same things that the things that you get applauded for, sometimes you don't want them to get applauded for, if that makes sense. But the best way to change that is to not lie to them and to tell them the truth when they're able to hear it. So like I got sent this by a friend of mine, Bernie. He says, this sounds like something you would do to your boys. And I will not lie to Trey and Cotton. Now, if Trey asked me that question at 11, I'm not answering it to him quite the same as I would at 16, 17 years old. Right. Like, but then again, man, I am a realist. And I know how the world operates, and not how I wanted to operate. I know how the world operates. I have trained athletes, both male and female, and I've had conversations. And then one thing I know is these are some aggressive ass, fast ass little girls. And they've always been like that. And I do know not having the conversation will lead you into a world where you go into the world with a false sense of what the world is. So what do you mean by that, James? I've said this before on the show. For all I know, my mother could have been a hoe, but I don't know that to be true. I didn't have a bunch of uncles that was running in. There was not a bunch of men running in and out of my house. In the entirety of the 40 years in which I have known my mother on this planet, I know James Sr., I know Mr. Mike, I know a guy named Derek, and I know Mr. Johnny. And Derek was a weightlifter, was a bodybuilder that helped me try to lift weights. Mike is the only other man that has lived in the house with my mother while I was there. And I'll be honest with you, Mr. Mike helped me become a little bit more masculine, because a lot of times you can tell some of these guys are being raised by and influenced by their mother. My mother, to me, basically was a righteous woman. I don't know, like, she did a really good job of whether it be hiding anything from me or that just truly being her personality. But that's how I thought my mom. That's how I assumed all women acted because of my mother. Doc Bailey, Pam Lightbourne. Desiree. Try to make sure Miss Bennett. Now, Miss Bennett only had one guy that I knew. I think his name was Mike too. It was a different one. I never. But my point is, the women who were truly influential in my life did not have a bunch of men running around in and out. Now, I did know about hoes. I didn't know about hoes until I got to college, or until I became a big time prospect. And that's when I learned that, there's some ain't shit women in this world. I was with one, procreated with one. She's in her final horror form. She's a pastor's wife. People say one thing I will say is I don't go around believing that everybody is the same exact way. But you have to let people. I think the one thing my mom and my godmothers did not do a good enough job of was preparing me for the world in which I was going into. But they did do that. Women do look out for women. They'll tell you about all the men that ain't shit. It ain't every man ain't shit. Most men are. But the crazy part in this, if you listen to this, there was a really good man that probably would not have ended a lot of people's careers had whoever that woman was didn't break his heart. If you listen to James, he knows the chick's name. Do you know how many men probably had to, other women had to be hurt because of that one woman? The phrase is, for every no good woman, there's a no good man that did her dirty, without realizing that there is an inverse to that. Now, I will say this. I would tell my son that every woman is not your mother. And in good and bad. But I will tell them the things that I did good, the things that I did bad, the things that I like about myself, that I think are really, really good, strong qualities, and the things that probably aren't the best qualities that they probably should avoid. And I try to kind of rectify that. And I think that's what you see with James Harrison right here. I think you see great fatherhood. And I think that's the beautiful thing. Like, I think this generation of fathers across the board, not your individual situations, but across the board, are probably the greatest generation of fathers that we've ever seen. And we're more involved, and we're teaching our kids the game. I'll say this, though. There are some bad ones, but equally, there are some women that are teaching these some traits that's going to create more little Jameses. Because one thing I told my boys is that you can have as many women. I told them the truth. Statistically speaking, if every man married one woman on this planet, there would still be a lot of women. I think it was damn near 1 billion or something like that. Women that would be single. There's also women that are trying to attack the same 3% of men, and I pray that my son will be one of those 3% of men. And what that means, you have options. You can afford as many women as you can handle fiscally, mentally, and emotionally. Typically, that's no more than one. But you bring something to the table. You got to make sure that they bring something to the table too. And if the only thing she's bringing to the table is problems, then leave her. Like, if not your problems, everybody should have their problems. Your job stinks. I should be able to empathize with your job being stinking. There's not a problem with that. But you becoming a problem to me is a problem. Like, you being nothing but a liability and nothing more than me just opening my checkbook, I have an issue with that. Unless, unless it's something that, we're truly growing and building together. That being said, if it's just a transactional relationship, then people who can afford transactional relationships will be in transactional relationships, and that means you're going to get ran through. But typically that happens when heartbreak happens. So, but I thought this was to me, out of all of this, I thought this was just a great bonding moment between men who are all fathers on that. I think Fred Taylor has kids. Yeah, Fred Taylor did have a kid. Yeah. He had a son that was a damn good running back. But between men who have kids and between and then hearing a father say, giving his son game, because I learned from the streets and from my friends about sex. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Those are the worst places that you can learn about sex from. Like, you gotta teach. Like, if you got, but to this day, I have yet to have my mom is. Did your mom? I don't get embarrass you. Did your mom and dad have to talk with you, Jalen?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Miles, did your people have to talk with you?
Well,
but nobody ever just sat down and just said, no, not necessarily how to do it. But I do believe that a lot of these world problems would be solved a little bit if there was a little guidance, not necessarily from the mom to the son. That's kind of weird. But a dad telling, hey, son, these are things that you'll enjoy, blah, blah, blah. But like, nobody's ever had the conversation. Nobody's ever had to talk with me. I was just like, that thing freestyle. Well, the streets had to talk, and old heads and OGs and older women and stuff like that. And that's the worst place to learn. Like, the problem with a lot of the stuff in the world is that we're not being taught stuff by the proper teachers, if that makes sense. But But yeah, that's cool to see James. James Harris is also the one who broke his kids' I-9 trophies because they got second place. He's like, everybody doesn't deserve a trophy. That was like years ago.
This potential lineup has been breaking the internet, been gaining a lot of traction. So, James, they describe their offensive side of the ball and each position and what race slash background they would like them to be. So, James, I think you retweeted this. So, what do you think about this list, man? We got starting left tackle black, left guard white and a little racist.
Yep.
Center white, right guard Samoan, right tackle white. I don't know what this obviously means, but
that's just
QB white, obviously. Running back black, fullback white and 30% Riri. Tight end black, wide receiver 1 black and ghetto, wide receiver 2 black and country, slot wide receiver white as snow. What do you think of this potential?
I mean, I think that's a really good team. They're probably really great culture and unity and bonding. Even the one that's a little racist, like he's still like he stopped putting raisins in his potato salad. Like he's just really like it's not really racist as much as they are redneck. That's what I was saying. I think a lot of people assume rednecks are racist, but they're really not. But I need a trailer trash guy. White center, I'm okay with that. The white or racially ambiguous quarterback, like meaning light skin guy. Like we don't know. Like look at who just competed in the Super Bowl. 2 light ass quarterbacks. The fullback, okay. Really more so heavy on the 30%. I don't know. The tight end, you could give me a black tight end, but again, I'm trying to think of like the best ones right now are white or really, racially ambiguous. The wide receivers, I'm sold on that. There's nothing more terrifying in today's NFL game than the white slot receiver. That's just doesn't care, is willing to get destroyed, but is going to catch the fucking ball. The ghetto guy is just fast, and the country guy is big and strong. So, like, yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't like, these are descriptors more than they are anything else. So, like, I'm okay with this.
Shout out to you're putting your GM hat on.
He didn't do the defense though.
No, I don't think he did a defense. That's probably coming soon for sure. So we're gonna transition into one of our favorite segments of the show, Big Games B.S., where we take the scope of the topics outside of football like we normally do. So first things first, man. Just got to say this: the rapper Dank Demos, her PR pan out good, man. Just saying. But she appeared on the Breakfast Club. They provided her with a wide chair, but it did not offer her the comfort she needed. And like you will see in the video, y'all, she had to request a different love seat. And we got the video, just a little montage of her Breakfast Club experience. And Charlemagne had to get in some of his words while he could. But let us know what y'all think in the comments below.
Body, like my body right now, is like my mind don't know that I'm this big. My mind does not know that I'm this big. So I be feeling like I could do everything. So when I walk in the gym, I feel like I'm fit. Or like if I'm trying to do certain shit, I feel like I could do it. And then I be like, damn, I can't do this. But in my head, I'm like, damn, I could do that. So I'm gonna walk over there. And I be going in the gym in front of all those people, 500 pounds in shorts, no shirt. Well, I have on a sports bra, but I don't know.
I told you she was 250 kilos. You heard her say her weight? Nah, I didn't. She said 500 pounds. I mean, because Jaden said 250 pounds. I said 200. I was joking. Oh, I was like 250 kilos. Like, she's definitely not 250 pounds. All right, so first I want to say, I believe her a little bit. Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't. She thinks she's fit, and she doesn't consider herself like she does. She dress because the way she dresses, right? And I'm gonna tell you why I believe that way. But eventually, reality will hit her. How old is she, by the way? Yeah, you can tell by she's not very old. Can't be very. She's in my jersey here.
How old I am now.
That took away every. That took away. They took away every. I was about to take a side. I was going to Jesus. She's 36, man. There was a young lady. Now she's skinny. Well, she's losing a ton of weight, and to be honest with you, she looks great. It's just the only thing that happens when you lose a lot of weight, you got to get she gonna have to have the surgery to get the skin fixed and stuff. But she dressed flying in a motherfucker for a chick that was petite. I'm talking about the colors she was wearing. She was pure Miami at Florida State when I was there. It had the confidence. Shot at me too. And I lied. And the lie got back to me. It caught up with me. It wasn't really a lie. It was kind of the truth, but it wasn't the full truth. I said, I'm taking. Taking was fluid at that moment. And I had just really broke up with my high school sweetheart at the time. And then I was trying to get into church. So she ended up joining the church that I was with. And she told everybody that, she tried to holler at James Coleman. And it just so happened that my high school sweetheart was going to that church that I was going to. And it just so happened that they were having a peer group, and she happened to express that to her. And she was just like, I know you ain't talking about my JC taking. And then now it became a big kerfuffle. Yeah, but I wasn't available was the better situation. And there was a lot of people who were taking interest at that time. I could have just said I'm not interested. That's what I should have said. But then that would have been not disrespectful, but then I would have been in trouble. I would have been called a fatophobic or something, whatever they call it, fatphobic. And I didn't want to be called a phobic. But I say that to say is that it can change, and it will change once she starts having maybe some health issues. But this accommodating, they're using the alphabet community. I was listening to something some way down the line. You can accept whatever you want to accept. It does not mean that I have to accept it. I'm not putting you in my F-150. And that thing is built to tow. You are in this situation because you chose to be in this situation. I don't have to accommodate for you. Even to be honest with you, with the alphabet community, I don't have to accommodate them if I don't want to. What I can't do is purposely try to hurt or harm them, which means I can't just dunk on you because you're fat. But if I service 100 people, right, and 99 people can fit in that goddamn chair, you think I need to have an extra wide chair just because your fat ass want to come in there? Wouldn't it be easier for you to accommodate? That's the thought process. You need to be more accommodating to me. You bring the chair that you need to sit in and comfortably sit. That part. You could have ordered Uber XL, but now what you wanted to do is you wanted the Uber X. Not for to put you in my Kia Sophia. Had that bitch scrubbing the ground. Look like I'm a low rider. Look like got me in 3-wheel motion. And you want to sit on one side. You ain't even going to want to sit in the middle. And what her name is Dank? I bet that, oof. I bet it smells outrageous. Like, what does she rap about? Gotta be. It's a thing where we have figured out the fringes of society that we have to go, and we're going, and that's what we get an attention for. And we just go all the way over there and then say, you have to accept me for where I'm at right here. And no, I don't. Yeah, you're bullying me to try to like you. And you know who? The only people who do, as women, Black women in particular. I don't have to. I can have it. Black women can have a type. But let a man say they have a type, and all of a sudden, like, we don't understand boundaries. That is my boundary. Like, we gonna put plane, like, nah, dog, like planes they over here. I can only have 50 pounds per luggage, per item that I put on the bottom of the plane, but she can buy a regular ass ticket. But the crazy part is she can't even fit the extendo clip. So even when they trying to be accommodating, and she's like 5, she's under 5'5" because Charlemagne ain't nothing but like 5'8", 5'9", and he towers over her.
Accommodating and enabling at a certain point.
Like
making it easier for you to not get the thing you need done.
Like Biggie was fat, right? And really, to be honest with you, if you know what, yes, that's just rubbing together. Biggie wasn't even fat in comparison to today's stuff. He was a big dude. Big Pun was fat, but even Big Pun said in this song, "It's so hard. I lost 100 pounds. I'm trying to live." Like, everybody says like men have it so easy, but don't realize the shit that we don't get to just walk around and ask for sympathy like this. If you're 500, like the only thing you can do is make jokes about yourself. Why? Because you're trying to hide the scars that are on the inside because you're crying. Meanwhile, she's over here saying, you got to accept me for what? And you know what? There's a person that love her dirty draws. For every woman that's skinny, there's a bitch on the 600-pound life with a skinny ass motherfucker that love her to death, feeding her, enabling her. So she probably got love, but not from here. Hey, I am not finna move. No. And the crazy part is they got up and moved furniture around for her. You know what? There's a love seat in the back. You can move it.
Ain't no rich people driving Ubers. You done caused this hard-working man probably a second and third job. So if it was me, bro, and all this came down on me because I refused to let somebody who would have broken my car in my car, I'd be flipping out.
People don't realize that, you know, you have the suspension, you have the shock absorbers. Like, she's killing all you. What if she probably wants you to drive over a place with a lot of speed bumps?
They said the car she was trying to get into, her friend had the same car, and she was used to riding in that car.
Well, let's see it.
Well, where your friend at? They're probably not friends anymore. You can only brakes aren't as expensive as they used to be, but it still ain't cheap. No, man, you need a car. Like, I'm not doing it. Uber doesn't pay for your car to get fixed, right?
No. Only if they throw up in.
Not gonna be able to do it. Damn, man, I feel like, nah, man, we gotta get off of this because I feel like just talking to like the saying reality is like all of a sudden feels like I'm picking on her, and I don't want to pick on her. But like, I'm sorry, dog. If you dress like that, you dress like that, you be like that to get attention, and you can't get mad when you get it. But damn, That's wild. It's wow. Whew. How do you even? Like you gotta like. How do you smash? Like you can't really. You can't like. It's like what's the machine? The press machine. You like. Like that's a lot of leg to put up there, man. And you can't just go from because you're not gonna be able to get your feet down. But she's the same height. Never mind. I got questions now.
Miles, I was gonna say I know her least favorite anime is One Piece. That was a bad joke. But anyways, yeah. But anyways, man, we got to talk about. Speaking of Big Meech, his party got canceled. Man, you can see the potential rollout he had. Lil Baby, Rick Ross, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Kodak, 42 Doug, ESTG, Moneybag, Bossman, D-Lo, T Grizzly. The names just keep growing and growing, but this was canceled. And James, why you think Big Meech's party was canceled and they had this star-studded lineup?
Well, one thing you can't be. I wanted everybody to realize, like, if you're not in the game and you see something happen and you tell, that is not snitching. That is being a great citizen. If you're in the game and you tell on somebody that's in the game with you, that's snitching. That's messed up. If you did the crime, do the time. Now, I don't know. Yo, that is. What if her and Dave Blunt's got on a track together? Or made a tape. They need to get a whoa, what? What's on the tape? Just a lot of skin. Just there's no penetration. No penetration. Yeah, it's just like when you see like the two, when you see like was it like the germs, then you see the two cells come together. That's just what it would look like. Oh, on a waterbed? Boy, you talk about a workout. Oh, I'm about to say if you put them on a big waterbed and let them try to get at each other, it would be 3 hours of hilariousness to see them try to get out. Oh wow.
I don't understand. Like I hurt my knee yesterday. I think I might have strained a meniscus or something. I can't straighten it out. How does she get away with like not hurting her? I'm surprised she can walk though, like for real.
She does. She waddles.
Why is her knees better than my knees?
That's wild.
Never mind.
That's wild. That is wild.
Hey, yo.
But now that I think about it, though. Never mind. That's wrong. She's probably immaculate at one thing, boy. Because she mess around and think you a Swiss cake roll, and it might be the time of your life. She think you a hot dog or a slider or some shit like that. She just fuck around and all your juices are gone. But we were talking Big Meech. So 50, I like 50 Cent, right? I mean, like his old original music. I don't like some of the new stuff that he put out outside of some of the songs that he's making for his shows. I like his business acumen. I don't like how petty he is, but I try to separate the man from the art. And what happened? One of the worst things you could do is be called a snitch when you're supposed to be a gangster. And 50 apparently has paperwork on Big Meech now that he's a snitch. And that's really what's going around. And we've seen how Lil Baby, like whoever was the guy who what rapper turned on Young Thug? It's not Gunna, right? Yeah. And Lil Baby and Gunna was cool. Lil Baby like, I can't do no work with him. And a lot of those people up there ain't gonna do no work with no guy who they believe, because they're trying to portray this image that they probably aren't really, but that they are. And so kudos to them for standing on their morals. But a lot of this came from 50 looked out for Meech and the fam. And 50 was true with BMF, and he looked out for Lil Meech. And he got him acting lessons. And I guess he paid him over $5 million over the course of them doing the BMF. But that money has been spent. And Rick Ross offered Meech $1 million to be able to do this Come On concert for him. And everybody knows Rick Ross and 50 Cent ain't fucking with each other like that. So 50 did all of his petty power and got the others petty dude Whack 100 all involved. And like, not everybody's trying to besmirch the name of a guy that we've been screaming free since we found out about him in like the early 2000s. So now all of a sudden, Big Meech, who was the epitome, the Black Mafia family was the epitome of the gangster lifestyle, is now all of a sudden a black eye to the gangster lifestyle. One of the largest drug rings in American history has been belittled by supposed paperwork that we have not seen, and a supposed interview that's about to happen from some lady who is affiliated with BMF. And be honest with you, it ain't that deep. And it goes back to what I was saying, even with the Kendrick and the Drake thing, man. We have all the smoke for each other and none of the smoke for what actually really fucking matters. Like, to be honest with you, as cool as it was and growing up in that area, that era, excuse me, and, you know, like one of the greatest jokes that Jeezy said, you wasn't outside when Meech brought the Tigers out to the club, like walking the tiger. It's all glorifying such a small fraction of our population, but it all comes down to trying to chase the American dream in a capitalistic society by one of the few ways that but one of the few ways in which we've seen people rise very, very quick, and that's through illicit gains. None of this is uplifting for the community. None of this is going to make any of us better. And honest to God's truth, if it really doesn't affect me, I don't really care. But fucked up, Big Meech ain't got no money, and people talk about loyalty. But the crazy part is 50 Cent did not just get this information. More than likely, 50 had this information, had been sitting on this information for a lot of stuff, man. And that's not loyalty either. That's fucking catty and petty. So I don't care. I wasn't going to be down there anyway for it. So I wish it would have been handled. I wish people would handle shit like men. And if it didn't cost you millions of dollars, just like, I could see him stopping the BMF show, which would have been enough. But I guess 50 was like, nah, that's not enough.
Yeah, before we close out the show, we got some little Valentine's Day facts for you all, just so we can educate the folks here at Den Media Group. So, couple quick facts. One, the name Valentine actually comes from the Latin valens, meaning worthy or strong. And the earliest recorded Valentine was written in 1415. In medieval times, it was believed that birds began pairing up and mating on February 14th. And in some places, Valentine's Day is celebrated as a day for friendship instead of romance, like in Finland and Estonia. And the association with Cupid comes from the Roman mythology, even though a lot of people know this one already, where he's the god of love. So, James, what are some of your Valentine's Day or some of your favorite love songs that you've heard throughout the years besides Bobby Womack?
Orange Juice Jones.
Oh yeah, Orange. That's a definite one. In the rain. That's with the like. Hey, I don't really like the song as much as I like the end of it. Like when he goes on the coldest rant. Hey, baby, I see you walking outside. I got some hot chocolate on the stove for you. I missed you. I missed you too. I missed you so much I fathered you. Now sit down because you cold busted. That man said, you without me is like cornflake without the milk. He didn't say cornflakes. It was one dry ass flake without milk. You know how dry that is? And then he gave her he's like, yeah, because you young. You gonna learn one. You gonna run into another dude like me one day. What was you thinking? Fucking with the juice? I bought you fancy cars and put you in clothes that you can't even pronounce. Nah, I ain't got nothing but game for you, baby. Nah. All those charge cards, they all canceled. I cut them all up. Yeah, I took all the money out of your account. Yeah, that's right. It's so diabolical, man. Like, imagine being a one-hit wonder and having a song that slaps so hard, it like you can't even go on tour because you only got one song. But I guess the romantic songs, I mean, I like are all toxic. Like Jodeci is toxic as hell. Like, R. Kelly, I don't know if he's singing to grown women or little kids, but they're great songs. Cross Point, do you have your shots? Let me see. Well, I wonder what does the internet say? Top 5, top R&B. Trophies is a good one. from Future.
I won.
Oh, he has a song. Doesn't he have a song Valentine's Day that he had with Kevin? Not Kevin Gates. Yeah, Worst Day. That might be Valentine's the Worst Day.
It's for the birds. You even said it in your thing. Valentine's Day is for the birds.
It's capitalistic, but like a lot of the songs, about making love and all of this, the romantic things are required to spend excessive amount of money for something that won't last. It's never like, oh my God, he was so romantic. He bought me a certificate of deposit from the bank. It's never romantic that it's something that, and what sucks is it's a lot of good, hard working men that don't have, like right now it's hard out here in these streets and your money's low but you're expected to get a girl something and it's got to be thoughtful and all the thoughtful things cost.
Right. Ain't no such thing as a cheap, thoughtful gift.
Right. You don't have to do much. You just have to take me to, especially if you have a long distance relationship, which a lot of people are in those. And like, it's just difficult. Like getting to you is a romantic. Like the plane ticket, gas is expensive as fuck. Like it's hard. The time traveled. I could have been doing something else. But I'm trying to think. What's it? Or just one that just for just. I'll be like this. If you want a real good one, look up Marvin Gaye, Soon I'll Be Loving You, and play that for your woman. Sing the words to her, and write them out to him in a card. And I'm pretty sure she would be excited for you to be loving her. Because if again, don't talk about music today if you haven't listened to the music of yesteryear. It's way more diabolical. Listen, Dance With Me. After the dance is kind of cool too. But what does he say? Saying, I made up my mind. I've never given head before, but there's always the first time. So I made up my mind. Soon I'll be loving you. That's all. I made up my mind. Soon I'll be loving you. Then your mood. What's it? I want to make love to you right now, babe. I got a real strong need to love you every way. I won't stop until you. What's it? Pop. Your passion's flowing like wine. Please, baby, please let me do it to you. Like he is literally singing about giving head. And he says at the end, hold on, Jalen, if you put it up there at the end of it, it's not just if you're James, he could be talking about anything. Fine. Scroll down to the end of it. Keep going. At the end of it, I said, hold on. He's they don't have it. It's screaming in the background. I want to give his man. I want to give his man. I want to give his man. I want to give him some head. It's just he's so smooth and subtle with it that you don't know. So I'm saying, fellas, play that for your lady, and you and he even puts a name out there. Apparently, he wanted to give head to Janice. Like it's a great song. Like it's just so smooth that you don't even realize it. I would say I Want You, but I Want You is about him wanting a woman more than she wants him. So like Marvin was wild, man. It's wild boy. But all of the best songs that sound romantic, the problem is I like lyrics. So when you actually listen to the lyrics, they just can sing. But don't listen. Just don't listen to the lyrics. Just listen to the melody and the chorus and believe what you want to believe. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. That was smooth. But I like him. What is it? No BS. All that bullshit's for the birds. But it's another one. Oh, no B. What was it? And don't you be on it? That's what y'all need to play. Oh, that's a good one. Well, yeah, but then he takes a snippet of Biggie's "Me and My Bitch." And if you go listen to Me and My Bitch, I've never loved anybody or thought anybody that was that fine, even though it was a Richard Pryor joke. But Biggie said some off the wall shit. 21 questions, 50 doing what he killed Ja Rule for.
I know, right? Always on time. Ja Rule had his little.
Damn, that's wild. That rap, the most misogynistic genre, probably does have the best. Ja Rule and Ashanti had a run. Mm-hmm. Oh, Common. Come close to me, baby. Let your love come through. I know you're thinking you're on my mind. You're right. Yeah. Heavy D. Yeah. Oh, Father MC. Treat them like they want to be treated. You should treat them right. There you go. Now y'all can go listen. Now, some of y'all trying to get young girls, they're going to think you old as fuck now playing them songs, man. Songs now, but I punch that bitch in the head while she giving me head. Spit the mouth, choking like you grab a woman. Now she smile. Come here, woman. Ooh, I like that. You're like, oh, this bitch crazy for real. Anyways, man, y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy your loved ones. Make sure you be safe. Get back here on Monday. We'll see you guys next time.